Okay, all right. We've got quite a subject today. It looks like that schools are out here, high schools banning cell phones from students. Now, I don't know about you, but for some reason, people are very attached to their phones. And guess what? When you have a phone that you pay for, or your mom pays for, or your dad pays for, whoever pays for it, and you got to use that, and if you want to take that away, you're probably going to get some pushback. And it's exactly what this high school got pushback for. And of course, naturally, students were out here protesting and all that because it was like, well, it's like prison if you take away our phones. And the whole idea was to stop people from fighting or incentivize less fights. But yeah, that didn't go so well. So I'll just give you guys a little bit of a quick summary video right here, and we can carry on.
Hundreds of students are refusing to go into their own high school because their high school decided to ban cell phones. This is the high school that decided to ban the use of their cell phones, Madison High School. It is located in Houston, Texas, and you already know that all the students basically at this high school are not very happy about this new rule, and a lot of parents of the students are not happy about this as well. The high school stated that the reasoning as to why they decided to ban the cell phones in the first place is to hopefully stop the amount of fights that happen at this school. All the students have to turn in their cell phones before they enter the school building, and as you can see right here, a bunch of these students are starting to protest outside of the high school. A lot of students at this high school have come out and stated that they feel like their high school is treating them like prisoners, and they also feel like their high school's main priority is not their safety at all, especially with the ban of cell phones. This is definitely a very interesting situation, and I'm really curious to know your thoughts about all this.
Before we keep going, there's this one clip from this YouTuber that I watch really frequently, and so essentially he always has these jokes about Texas because Texas is the last place you want to be trying some stuff because Texas, as you know, is a bit of a wild state. At least from what I hear, there's some wild stuff that goes down in Texas. And so, why would you want to try some wild shit down in Texas? It's beyond me. But anyways, I just want to show you guys this video because I think it's pretty funny. At least, it's funny because at least the people I know who live in Texas are like, yep, it's pretty true down here. And they go to fly in Texas.
Apartment complex in Austin, Texas that's putting a mandatory 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew each day.
Hey, look, I don't know who the landlord is or whoever owned the property, but I think you should really reevaluate your thought process, fam. I'm just saying, you can't really charge people out the wazoo to stay where they at and then think you're going to tell them when they can and can't go outside and not knock on the door. Especially in Austin, Texas. It's just not going to go how you thought.
Sorry, I had to give you guys a little bit of levity while we talk about this. But I'm actually going to pull up an article real quick as well on this situation just so I understand a bit more that encompasses this case. And then, like I said, we will talk about it. And then hopefully I'll get you guys' thoughts on it later. Now, here we are. Houston, Texas. Anger over a new cell phone policy at Madison High School caused some students to walk off campus in protest this week. And now those students may face consequences. Cell phones are now prohibited from campus after a series of fights that administrators say were caused by content being shared on students' phones. According to our partners at the Houston Chronicle, Houston ICD Superintendent Mike Miles is threatening serious consequences for students who choose to not show up to class. At Thursday night's board meeting, he reportedly said school suspensions are now on the table as punishment. Monday was the start of a new restrictive policy regarding student phones. They must be turned into the front office, cannot be used during lunch, and then retrieved after school. The school was already in the headlines all year, but this week alone there are multiple fights, a school lockdown, and now the new cell phone policy. Yeah, I don't know if banning cell phones is really what causes people to do fights. I mean, I don't know. I feel like when it comes to school fights, they just get more publicized because everybody pulls out their phones like immediately as soon as a fight starts. At least from what I've seen when it comes to fights. And yeah, that's really what it comes down to. I don't know if fighting is I don't know if phones are really causing more people to fight. It seems like they're a bit out of touch in terms of what kind of punishment to give out. Anyways, I don't know, this doesn't sound very right. District officials are blaming recent fights on cell phone videos being shared by students. The district says their policy prohibits cell phone use in school buildings and says the recent fights endangered the safety of students and staff, so something had to be done. Students initially told ABC that they were being patted down at the door if they said they did not have a phone, but that's no longer happening. Yeah, you can just hide your phone in your socks, right? Okay, no, don't actually do that. But trust me, there are ways. You people are man. I don't know about you guys, but every time they pull in some new BS rule, somebody found a way around it. Whether it was you, your classmate, or whoever. Anytime there's a new rule, bro, they would literally, nah, that's not gonna happen. Like, if I saw this rule that said phones are banned in school, bro, I'm hiding it in my locker. It's staying in my locker. What are they gonna do? They're gonna check my locker every night? Like, no. Hell, you don't even have to do that. You can even hide it in like a gym bag. There's so many ways to circumvent this rule, which is already, I don't know. This rule is already kind of dumb. The more I'm reading into it, but anyways, at 7 a.m. we walk in. They are immediately telling us to put our phones up. They're not saying good morning or nothing. Why do we want to be introduced with that? Student Jessica Santamaria said. Students said in addition to strictly timed classes under the new education system, NES, they feel distracted all day, but it has nothing to do with their phones. I don't even feel safe. I really do want to have a good education. I'm a senior. I'm ready to go. And they're making this really hard for us, Student Madison Rittenhouse said. State education leaders say it comes down to creating a learning environment. Instructionally, you have to create a learning environment that allows students to focus. You have to set up the student to be successful in that way. Mike Morat, Texas Education Agency Commissioner, said, okay, I'm going to stop this here. And, okay. Now, this is the problem with, like, school, especially now. Ugh. It's a very long process, but to break it down to you guys, the way that education, I don't know, I'm not American, so I don't know, maybe in America especially is pretty bad, but the way that school has been set up, it's been set up the exact same way for the past, like, I don't know, like 100-ish years. You wake up early in the morning, you go to class, and then you prepare for a big test, and you do it again, you do it over and over again. And that's similar to doing a 9 to 5. You get up really early, you do your work, and then you leave during the day. And so that environment, especially now, is not very optimized for learning. That's really the problem with school, is because when you have to wait to write a big test, you're not thinking about how much you've learned. You're thinking about, man, what's going to be on the test? What should I memorize to be on the test? And that repetition over and over again makes some people be like, I'm checking out, or at least I'm just going to pass and call it a day. You're not really pushing people to be more educated. You're pushing people to be more like, yeah, I'm just want to pass and call it, then get my diploma. Or hell, you might even have the people like, you know what, I just want to make the honor roll, and that's about it. So are people really learning? So taking away cell phones could potentially maybe help people get more interested, I guess. But people also find a new way to distract themselves. So that's not really why education should be like, taking phones away. It should be more like, how could we improve our curriculum so that we can actually engage people to learn? For example, you can actually use like technology to make you more interested. Lots of people like AI and stuff. You can incorporate AI. I don't know, whatever you got to do, okay? Just whatever makes the school system more interesting. And what they really should be doing is you should be building off of skills that you've learned and keep going over and over and over again. So instead of preparing for, I don't know, a calculus test, you should be like, okay, you have the basis for calculus. Why don't I see how I can take it even more? Of course, I'm not an educator. These are just some suggestions that I believe you could use. And if I were you guys, I would also go probably check out some actual videos that describe our school system, or at least the school systems in more detail. Because, I'm just the guy talking into a mic. I can't really help you there. But anyways, let's wrap this up. And it says, I don't remember where I left. Okay. Instructionally, you have to create a learning environment, blah, blah, blah. I read it, my bad. Some students who spoke to ABC 13 raised a flag about the new policy. If my phone is in the office and someone decides they've had enough and they come and shoot the school up and my phone is in the office with you guys so I can't contact my mother, I cannot get home. I cannot see who is going to take me home. One student told ABC 13. I have a friend. Her mom ended up in the hospital and they were calling her, but since the school has her phone on Thursday, she couldn't get in touch with her after the fact. Honor student Tivion Scott said, hundreds of students chose to walk out on Thursday. ABC 13 is keeping an eye on this story to see what happens now that Miles has made it clear there will be consequences. And honestly, a change like this radical, especially now, is one of the dumbest things you could ever do. And I'm saying it's dumb now because, first of all, have you seen how like hyperprotective parents are over their kids nowadays? It's insane. I mean, you'll literally have some parents be like, my child can do no wrong, even though the child is clearly in the wrong. And now you do something like you take it away their cell phones. The school system is not earning itself any more favors. Matter of fact, it's reducing the amount of favors that it could have with people. You know what I mean? So this whole policy wouldn't sit well with me anyways. Especially if I was a parent, I'd be like, why are they taking your phone away for? I'd be like, son, sneak that shit in. Why are you doing that? But going back to what I was saying earlier, the way that learning is constructed now, and the reason why you have places like the Scandinavian countries, while their education system is a bit better off than say the ones in the West, is not because their people are inherently smarter or anything like that. It's just that the way that they set up their education is a lot different, and that's basically it. If I remember correctly, and it's been a long time since I checked this out, but it just came to my memory. But I think the remember they did the high school is that they will have it's like you do all your regular stuff, but there's no testing and all that. Like there's no tests, and after those 4 years of high school, then everything goes into one big exam and see how you accumulated that knowledge over the years. I believe that's how it works. I have to really double check that one, but that's why you see places like, I don't know, like Finland are the happiest places in the world to live. And it starts the education system. And I'm not saying be like Scandinavian education system because at least over there, nice. I might be stretching, but anyways, what I'm just saying is that education as on its own is already boring as it is. So so of course people are going to get distracted by going on their phones and this and that. But if you actively engage people into learning, that's when you'll get some actual reception. And let's be honest here, most of your teachers probably didn't really care about you that much. And I say don't care as in some of them never really sat on like one-on-one with you to actually give you like the help that you needed. Sure, it was offered, but did they really pick out potential? Like, you know what? I'm going to go out of my way to help this student because they need some help. Or I'm going to go out of my way to help this one. It's like, you have to take the initiative to do that, and a lot of people are just too nervous to even try that stuff. Like, why would you want to? It's weird, especially like raising your hand in a class. Woo! Woo! You don't look like the dumb one. Ay. But anyways, I just believe that when it comes to education, we should be looking more into how do we actively get people to participate, actively get them going. That's how I believe it is. Even hell, it's even worse at like the university level. In university, and I'm telling you this as a university student, it's every man for himself. Sure, you get some group work, but let's be honest here. The group work is more like it's you and dragging four or three other teammates. Like it's not fun. And sure, there's some programs, especially like in the colleges that are here, that are a bit more hands-on, a bit more engaging. But I'm saying just when it comes to like university, where everybody's trying to go to, it's every man for himself. So sure, you have the resources to help you, and they can tell you about it, but to really like navigate those resources and really start asking the real questions, it takes time. So, yeah. Anyways, that was a long talk about education, but a lot of things need to change about that. But at least I'm glad that the students are actually pushing back against this, because this policy is extremely stupid. It's not helping anybody. As a matter of fact, you're just going to push people away from this school. And like I said, a lot of stuff does not fly in Texas. This is not going to be one of them. Why would you want to try that in Texas? It would be on me. But anyways, wow. That was a lot of talking. But I'm actually, stuff like this always gets me thinking, and I always would like to, one day I want to do like a really in-depth video on this kind of topic, like really do some more research, but that requires actual work. So We're lazy around these parts. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow my socials down in the description below. And leave a dislike if you want to. It doesn't really matter. And actually, I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. I'm curious, do you guys feel the same way about education, or do you feel like it's actually pretty good right now? You know, diversity of thought is the way to go. Anyways, Ashy signing out.